I'm having more racks.
Shit on the floor like a donut. Yeah, we gon' fuck on the floor, she gon' throw back. He about to pull out the wig, need some up tracks. What I pay for the crib, nigga, don't ask.
Just know that I own it, nigga.
Like with streets, out with streets. Fuck around with the gray, I'm telling you. Fuck all these niggas hating on.
Yesterday I fucked the waitress. Came outside on the place she was waiting on. And y'all ain't talking about shit. She better me slide my dick. Take the slide my dick. He said side.
Y'all niggas better be ready for me. You ain't gotta be scared to be ready.
Come on.
You can make that second belly. I got that heat, I go from get it.
I got the back of the leg and it's in the bigger the place to get it. I try to back up the leg, I can shit with the drops in the limb with the shit with the lemon.
I got that fire in my right foot. I got that rod in my left foot. I'm not no boy, I'm gon' step off. Beat your little ass like a step off. I'm on the road, bitch, I'm way better. I fought the same hoes before Mayweather. I hop on the road and go make sure. She hate on my poke cause I take better. Like, and fuck all these niggas. Yesterday I fucked the way. Came outside with my place, she was waiting on me. Y'all ain't talking about shit. She be telling me to smile when she ride my D. In the wild, keep back and forth here. He be saying, don't know, I can brush with some paper on me. Bitch. Fuck all these niggas hating on me.
The Western Conference NBA playoffs round 1 continues.
I'm gonna do like she know what's up. She's over there back out. I want to tell her. Tell them I need to tell her something. So when I get it back in my hey, Simon, when I step in up, you get into like, what? Right now, just me and what? I'm down, got another bro, see? Doom. If I chop up with girlie.
Something to deep in your ear, bro. Why y'all make me do this? I got the camera.
Damn, bitch, you really did that? Hey, it's her old cakes on the goddamn screen. Yo, this girl, that was entertaining as hell. How she did that? This girl really did that shit? How do the fuck do they do this? Let me see if it does it on its own. Yeah, that's crazy. Yo, these motherfuckers really be one taking this shit. Yo, this bitch she hit an elbow, a fist, a cross, a motherfucking forearm, and her ass at the end, nigga. Like, that's crazy, bro. This bitch is tweaking. Ew. Oh, that's disgusting, Brody. Golly.
I just know that you a freak. I wonder how she act when I'm in that cushy act. I wonder how she act. I wonder how she act when she get this in the act. I wonder how she act. I wonder how she bad. The shawty bad. Yeah, super freak. I call her Wonder Woman.
Woo. I call her Wonder Woman. Let's go.
And I'm gonna see the option be on high. I'ma up it. I'ma black side influence muffin. Doing bad like any man feeling good on the fire. It's in my mouth, yeah, I'm not. Look at my brothers, I'm taking like look at me, he's not taking like I ain't looking at you on my head. I always be telling me, you know,
Hey, I get that money, she want me to crash out. I'm just fucking bitches till they pass out. My girl that's thinking that my money back out. I'ma fuck on that bitch till she pass out. I'ma fuck on that bitch till she pass out. I'ma fuck on that hoe till she pass out. I'ma fuck on that hoe till she pass out. I'ma fuck on that hoe till she pass out. Yeah. Bitch. 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 Bitch.
Now you all you've been moving mixing. I been moving. How you come on?
Milwaukee, you've been moving mixing.
How you come on? I'm a demon like you know what's up. She don't live that's why I'm grabbing up. I'm trying to run to us. You need to suck me up. Sitting on the walkie in my cup. You can call me when it's on the you know how you want it, why you trying to fuck. I guess I'm just wanna get into it. She put up on me. I'm like, baby, right now, just me and you. I'm a dog. Go. Every outside. Like what? Like everything's back.
Looking for an easy crypto exchange?
Last minute predictions for night 1 of WrestleMania 41. LA Knight finally addresses his backstage heat with Drew McIntyre. Triple H comes under fire for his recent public comments. The WWE's immediate plans after WrestleMania 41 leaked. A female star getting a huge push after WrestleMania 41. A shocking Shield reunion set for WrestleMania 41. A disappointing update on The Rock's WrestleMania 41 status. John Cena Sr. warns Cody Rhodes. Will John Cena win his 17th WWE World title at WrestleMania 41? Let's dive right in. Last minute predictions for night 1 of WrestleMania 41. WWE has locked in 7 explosive matches for night 1 of WrestleMania 41, headlined by a chaotic triple threat between CM Punk, Roman Reigns, and Seth Rollins. Royal Rumble winners Charlotte Flair and Jey Uso are set to challenge for the WWE Women's and World Heavyweight titles respectively. With surprises lurking, these last-minute predictions for Night 1 will have everyone talking. Number 1. Fast takes for WrestleMania 41 Night 1. The War Raiders defend their World Tag Team titles against the New Day, but the tag division has been quiet lately. The New Day's energy could shake things up, making them the perfect choice to snag the belts and spark new rivalries. Meanwhile, Rey Mysterio's ongoing clash with Chad Gable, disguised as the mysterious El Grande Americano, has stolen the spotlight on Raw. Rey's got the experience and heart to outsmart his foe and rip off the mask, exposing Gable for good. Prediction: The New Day wins the World Tag Team titles, and Rey Mysterio unmasks El Grande Americano as Chad Gable. Number 2. Jade Cargill hunts Naomi for payback. Naomi's reveal as Jade Cargill's attacker was a letdown for some, especially with Bianca Belair not in the mix. Still, Naomi's heel turn has lit a fire under her, delivering killer promos that show her edge. But Jade's a powerhouse, and WWE's got big plans for her. She's not losing her first WrestleMania singles match. The real question is, what's next? Could Naomi drop a hint she had backup? Prediction: Jade Cargill overpowers Naomi. Naomi, you thought you could break me? At WrestleMania, the storm's gonna rage. Number 3. Can LA Knight stop Jacob Fatu's rampage? With no Solo Sikoa versus Jacob Fatu match, their story bleeds into Fatu's United States title shot against LA Knight. Solo might tip the scales, either helping Fatu win or sabotaging him to spark a bigger feud. Expect Solo to back Fatu, setting up a betrayal down the line, like when Evolution ditched Randy Orton. LA Knight's a fan favorite, but he'll stay strong even without the belt. Prediction: Jacob Fatu wins the United States Championship with Solo Sikoa's help. Number 4. Tiffany Stratton versus Charlotte Flair. New star versus legend. Charlotte Flair's Royal Rumble win screamed title change in the old WWE playbook, especially after her 2024 injury hiatus. But Tiffany Stratton's got the crowd behind her, and burying another rising star would sting. Flair doesn't need the win to stay a queen, and a loss could push her to rethink her game. WWE's new direction should let the future shine. Prediction. Tiffany Stratton stuns Charlotte Flair to keep her WWE Women's Championship. Charlotte, you're the past. I'm the present, and I'm not bowing down. Number 5. Jey Uso faces Gunther's undefeated streak. The World Heavyweight title match hit a rut with weeks of repetitive promos, but Jey Uso's fire turned it around. Gunther's mocked Jey, calling him a loser who's scared, but Jey's confidence soared after Gunther bloodied Jimmy Uso. With Jimmy likely showing up in Las Vegas, he'll give Jey the edge to topple the ring general. A tainted finish keeps Gunther strong. Prediction. Jey Uso wins the World Heavyweight title with Jimmy Uso's help. Number 6. Chaos in the Triple Threat Showdown. The Night 1 main event hinges on Paul Heyman's loyalty. Roman Reigns roughed him up, and Seth Rollins wasn't any kinder. CM Punk saved his old pal, but will Heyman stick with him? Betrayal's in the air, and Rollins, the odd man out, might be the perfect fit for Heyman's schemes. The winner could get a title shot soon, but Punk's got the edge for his first WrestleMania main event win. Prediction. Paul Heyman double-crosses Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins to hand CM Punk the victory. Heyman's my guy, and at WrestleMania he's going to make sure I walk out on top. LA Knight finally addresses his backstage heat with Drew McIntyre. LA Knight and Drew McIntyre have been at each other's throats on WWE TV, but word on the street is their bad blood runs deeper than the ring. The megastar finally spoke out about rumors of tension with McIntyre after a sloppy moment at the 2025 Royal Rumble, where Knight accidentally tripped up McIntyre, leading to Damian Priest dumping him out. Gossip swirled that McIntyre stormed out of the arena, fuming over the mistake, and fans started whispering about a real-life feud. On the Gorilla Position podcast, the United States champion cleared the air, keeping it real and brushing off the drama. Knight said he's used to people having issues with him, but he's too seasoned to sweat it now. The Rumble mix-up? No big deal to him. He pointed out that everyone had to bounce after the show wrapped. Nothing shady about it. I've always got heat. When don't I have heat? At the same time, I'm too old for heat. I don't deal with that. We had to leave because the show was over. Yeah. At some point, everybody's gotta go home. Knight swore he didn't even know McIntyre supposedly left in a huff until he saw it online the next day. He was busy at the monitor, watching the Rumble unfold, and didn't notice anything weird. McIntyre was already backstage by the time Knight got there. He stormed out? I didn't even know. No idea. I got to the monitor. I saw the rest of the deal. And no, he was already back there before I was. His A got tossed already. I didn't know anything about it, okay? I didn't know anything about it until I was sitting at home Sunday night and somebody sent me an article. I was like, that's interesting. WrestleMania 41 is just days away in Las Vegas, and the hype is off the charts with a stacked card of epic showdowns. Knight's putting his United States title on the line against Jacob Fatu, who's got the bloodline backing him, making him a serious threat. McIntyre, meanwhile, is ready to unleash hell on Damian Priest in a gritty Sin City street fight, fueled by Priest's Money in the Bank cash-in that stole McIntyre's moment at WrestleMania 40. Both guys are poised to light up the show, but will their rumored beef bubble over? Triple H comes under fire for his recent public comments. Vince Russo, a former WWE head writer, didn't hold back when he took aim at Triple H's recent remarks about booking. As WWE's chief content officer, Triple H steers the creative ship, but his comments on the Flagrant podcast stirred up trouble. He said today's fans know the wrestling business inside out, and stressed that WWE shouldn't let social media chatter sway its decisions. On Legion of Raw, Russo called him out, pointing to last year's WrestleMania 40 main event as proof Triple H bends to fan pressure. Originally set for Roman Reigns versus The Rock, it switched to Reigns versus Cody Rhodes after fans erupted online. Russo didn't buy Triple H's claim that social media doesn't call the shots. He argued that WWE flipped its biggest match because fans demanded it.
Long-term hair loss and hair
did.
Discover a range of prescription treatments, like the quick-growing 4-in-1 spread is formulated with the maximum antioxidant.
The internet's power. You know, I just keep hearing these same sentiments from a lot of people. And then, man, Triple H does this interview saying that their fan base is not dictating anything to them and what's said on social media. Bro, you changed the entire direction of your company last year based on social media. Like, what are you even talking about, bro? On the Flagrant podcast, Triple H opened up about more than just social media. He dove into the shifting world of wrestling, touching on politics, character growth, and storytelling. He emphasized sticking to a vision, even with fans dissecting every move online. But Russo's criticism highlights a sore spot. Can WWE really ignore the roar of its fan base when it's loud enough to reshape WrestleMania? With WrestleMania 41 kicking off in Las Vegas this weekend, Triple H's booking is under a microscope. Fans are hyped for Night 1's stacked card, including Roman Reigns versus CM Punk versus Seth Rollins, and Jey Uso challenging Gunther. Uso's comments fueled the debate. Is Triple H truly calling the shots, or are fans steering the story? As the show unfolds, every twist can spark more chatter about who's really in control. The WWE's immediate plans after WrestleMania 41 leaked. WrestleMania 41 is almost here, and the WWE Universe is already hyped for what's next. A major shakeup is on the horizon, with the WWE Draft topping the list of moves Triple H's creative team has in store. On a recent live Q&A episode of Sportskeeda Wrestle Binge, WrestleVotes spilled the beans about the draft's return to TV. The WWE Draft is expected to hit screens after WrestleMania 41, likely in late May, keeping with its usual springtime slot. This roster reset could spark fresh rivalries and dream matches across Raw, SmackDown, and NXT. I'd imagine it's a post-WrestleMania thing, maybe late May or so, usually comes in the springtime, so I'd expect the same this year. When asked about The Rock's involvement in WrestleMania 41, veteran journalist Bill Apter revealed even the Great One's family is in the dark. His appearance at the Las Vegas event remains uncertain, leaving fans guessing about a potential blockbuster moment. I've talked to members of his family, and they don't even know if he's going to be there yet. The Showcase of the Immortals takes over Las Vegas on April 19th and 20th, 2025, with a stacked card featuring stars like Cody Rhodes, Roman Reigns, and Charlotte Flair. As the dust settles, the draft and potential surprises, like The Rock's status, will shape WWE's next chapter. A female star getting a huge push after WrestleMania 41. Word is spreading that a major push is coming for a rising female star after WrestleMania 41, and all eyes are on Roxanne Perez. The former two-time NXT Women's Champion has been dipping her toes in the main roster waters recently. On a live Q&A episode of Sportskeeda Wrestle Binge, WrestleVotes dropped hints about Perez's bright future, while also lamenting the scrapped feud with Bayley. Perez is expected to make a full-time jump to Raw or SmackDown after WrestleMania 41, with WWE planning a prime spot for her. Her talent and fan support make her a perfect fit for a big breakout moment. Totally agree. Do believe she's part of the main roster post-WrestleMania. I think she's going to get a good spot too when she's officially on either Raw or SmackDown. The Q&A also touched on buzz about AEW's Mariah May possibly joining WWE. Veteran journalist Bill Apter kept it cryptic but teased the idea, leaving fans curious about her next move. Yeah, we were just talking about that. So is she coming to WWE? All I can say is Mariah May. As WrestleMania 41 lights up Las Vegas on April 19th and 20th, 2025, the fallout will kickstart new stories. Will Roxanne Perez cement her main roster rise? Could Mariah May shake things up by jumping to WWE? With stars like Tiffany Stratton and Charlotte Flair already stealing the spotlight, the women's division is about to get even hotter. A shocking Shield reunion set for WrestleMania 41, the Night 1 main event of WrestleMania 41, is set to deliver a wild triple threat clash between former Shield brothers Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins, with CM Punk stirring the pot. Fans hoping for a nod to their legendary faction might get their wish. On a recent live Q&A episode of Sportskeeda Wrestle Binge, WrestleVotes teased that the match could spark some epic Shield moments. While Reigns, Rollins, and Punk will battle it out, expect a moment where the former Shield duo teams up, reminding everyone of their dominant past. It won't last the whole match, but it'll hit fans right in the feels. I think they work together a little bit too. I don't think it's for the whole match, but I do think you'll see some Shield flashbacks for a portion of the contest. This past Monday on Raw, Seth Rollins brought back painful memories for Reigns, smashing him with a chair to the back, a chilling echo of the Shield's breakup over 10 years ago. Rollins didn't stop there, dropping Reigns with a curb stomp, just like he did to both Reigns and Punk the week before. The bad blood is boiling as they head into Las Vegas, with WrestleMania 41 kicking off on April 19th, 2025. The triple threat is anyone's game. Will Reigns reclaim his throne? Rollins outsmart his foes? Punk steal the spotlight. The Shield reunion tease adds extra fire to an already explosive match, and the WWE Universe is on edge to see who walks out victorious. A disappointing update on The Rock's WrestleMania 41 status. As WrestleMania 41 nears, uncertainty swirls around The Rock's involvement, leaving fans of the final boss on edge. A new update from the Sportskeeda Wrestle Binge live Q&A has dampened hopes. Sharing insight after speaking with The Rock's family. Even those closest to The Rock are clueless.
We're also making some changes. Plumlee comes in for Pat Connaughton, and it's Turner in for C.J. McCollum.
$500,000 without monthly payment.
And that one falls for the Marcus Cousins. Hey, every team would welcome a big physical player like DeMarcus Cousins. I mean, he knows exactly how to throw his body around to have an impact on the game at both ends of the court.
And there's the 8-second call as they can't get it across half court in time. Caspi is checked in for DeMarcus Cousins.
So, you could have the idea of doing Roxanne and Corey Jade against Bailey and Lyra Valkyrie, and that would be very intriguing for the obvious reasons, as we said, given the history between those involved. But, you know, you could also do the same thing where they're facing perhaps Liv and Raquel. But that, of course, is dependent on whether Roxanne and Corey Jade actually win the match. Don't know if that's going to happen. So, I think the better choice is probably to say the titles are going to stay with Liv and Raquel for that reason, just because I think, again, you keep a title on Liv, unless you're putting her back into the singles title picture, which isn't going to happen just yet. That's like something where keep the title here, you've got kind of a thrown together team in Bailey and Lyra Valkyrie, and if they were to win, look, Lyra Valkyrie would hold multiple titles at that point. So, you want to go that route? Maybe, maybe not. But I'm going to pick Liv and Raquel to retain. I just don't know enough about maybe the direction of the women's tag team division outside of that intriguing possibility that I added on the NXT after WrestleMania that could, you know, cause a title swap here. So I'm going to go with Liv to retain. All right, the Sin City Street Fight. Drew McIntyre and Damian Priest. It's one that also has been quite talked about since the Royal Rumble, because we all know there were rumors out there, you know, McIntyre's frustration with how things went in the Rumble and all this, and people were kind of frustrated that this was going to be his WrestleMania match given what he's done over the past year. We talked about Liv Morgan's impact and all that, but McIntyre certainly has had a career year. Seemingly he's done that back-to-back years. And then when you think about what he did last year with CM Punk, people are wondering, all right, does he get that big opportunity now at WrestleMania? Yes, he's had those opportunities before. We know what happened last year. But this is kind of a match that you're in the making, right? Given what happened at WrestleMania 40. So we can understand why they're putting these two together in the street fight.
That's a shot he's got to hit. You don't get many looks better from that range.
It's all tied in Sacramento. Let's take a quick break now, and then it's on to the second quarter after this. We're back with you, all set to bring you more action from Game 3. And looking at what we've seen from Sacramento so far, guys, what do you think?
Well, in that first quarter, they were intent on just pounding the ball down low.
Yeah, and it's worked. They've got a clear edge and
Sweet.
Street fight element, I think, will add a little bit more to it. It's not a wrestling match. These two want to destroy each other. And so that adds a little bit more to, you know, kind of the stakes involved here with this. But quite honestly, I think this is the most predictable match maybe on the entire card. Either not. I think Drew McIntyre is winning this match. I just would be stunned if that's not the case because of what I said. I mean, McIntyre clearly has put himself on another level right now, and this is where, if he is able to get a win here, what does that mean for him coming out of WrestleMania? We have to look ahead, start looking at possibilities where, you know, he could be someone that most certainly is going to stay at that upper, you know, level of the card and have all sorts of options in terms of what he does next. Does Priest need this more? Maybe you could argue that, but again, think about what happened last year. It's just a scenario where I think Drew gets his revenge here. He blames Priest for everything that's happened. Drew McIntyre wins. I just am not giving it a second thought because I think he is probably clear winner in this match. Speaking of post-WrestleMania plans, I think this is an interesting match. AJ Styles and Logan Paul. And we know that this one, you know, has a little bit of a build to it, but not the longest build. But still, I think this should be a really good, there's no question. I mean, all these matches we talked about should be really good. But I think this is where, too, I'm looking at the post-WrestleMania side of things. With, you know, who wins this match, who should win this match, I think it becomes a lot more interesting because if the prediction we had for WrestleMania Saturday comes true, spoiler, I think Jey Uso would be good for the World Heavyweight Championship. if that comes true, then you're going to be potential challengers. Right? You've got to start looking ahead to the other PLEs and different challenges that you could have for Jay Uso. Oh, remember last year, AJ Styles was kind of in that role, right? For Cody Rhodes. I mean, as one of the first challengers there, and he kind of played that out with AJ, so he could be put in that role again, perhaps. But I also think there's certainly something to the idea that you go with Jay Uso and Logan Paul as one of those combinations. Now, like I said, we're saying that with thought that Jay's going to win the title. If he doesn't win the title, then, hey, maybe Gunther and AJ Styles. I wouldn't mind seeing that. But I think when you look at the way this thing could unfold, if Jay wins Saturday, it would seem like Logan Paul is probably the favorite on Sunday, because that would give you, kind of a direction you can go in for Jay post-WrestleMania. That's one of the many options you have to work with. With Jay, not saying that would be the first thing they would do, but if it's Logan Paul, it's the heel, you can use that to sort of say that, hey, he now deserves an opportunity at the World Heavyweight Championship. So I think Logan Paul will be my pick for this one. I'm not as convinced here. I think, again, you could go multiple ways just in terms of
the secret to unlimited free electricity isn't solar, wind, or generators. It's a simple, safe, and affordable tweak that's already
using both these guys coming out of WrestleMania, and they're still going to be slotted, the upper mid-card / main event. So I think, either way, you definitely have some stuff to work with here, but I tend to think Logan Paul is probably where they're headed in terms of who gets a little bit more out of winning this match and using that moving forward as we talk about perhaps these world title pictures after WrestleMania. So I'm going to go Logan Paul here. May not be a popular pick, but I will go with him. All right, so titles on the line here, as it is going to be the four-way Intercontinental Championship match. Braun Breaker defends against Penta, Finn Balor, and Dominic Mysterio. I think this could be the match that steals the show this weekend. I think it should be fantastic with these four guys in there. And that's where, look, when you think about the possibilities when you have a four-way match, there's all sorts of different combinations of how this thing can unfold, right? For me, the one that you start with is, this is a great way to have Braun Breaker lose the Intercontinental Championship without getting pinned. And so I start there and think, all right, this is a perfect setup. If it's a one-on-one match, I'd probably have a tough time picking against Braun Breaker against any of these guys, because we've already seen those combinations, right? Hard to pick against him. But in a four-way match where he doesn't have to get pinned to lose the title, that is kind of your perfect setup. To get the title now off of Breaker, he has a reason to chase after it afterwards, but also, let's not kid ourselves. It's going to be pretty soon, I think, with Braun Breaker getting into the higher tier of moving past the Intercontinental Championship and getting into the World Heavyweight Championship conversation, because he's been that good. And, maybe it's not for WrestleMania 42, but at some point we're going to look up and say, all right, he got there, and there's no coming back. He's not going to be coming back down, to the Intercontinental Championship. He's going to be someone that's kind of in that range where he's staying in the world title picture, one way or the other. But this is a way to get the belt off of him, and yes, he can chase after it afterwards. So that leaves for three, right? We're going to one of these other three now. And that's where, to be honest with you, I don't mind any of you have here. I think any of the three would be the right choice for all the different stories you could tell, right? Penta winning the championship, his first WrestleMania. Look how impressive he's been so far. Having him come out and win this title, beating three other men who have, again, been kind of stalwarts at WWE. That would be a significant step. You could use that for years to come when you talk about that's how good Penta is. Come in and he won this championship, beat three other men at the biggest stage of the year. That would be significant if they did that, right? If Balor wins. And obviously, Balor's got something to hold over the head of his fellow Judgment Day members, especially the person in the match with him, Dominic Mysterio, right? Just for all the stuff that Liv talks about. And all this, like, hey, Ben knows best, right? Balor knows best. They could use that moving forward. So that's something you can definitely work with there. Dominic wins. Well, again, it's kind of that sort of, huge moment in his career where he's winning a championship on the biggest stage at WrestleMania, and perhaps doing it at the expense of his fellow Judgment Day member / leader, Finn Balor. What kind of dynamics would that put in play? The tension between those two we know have already been building. You've got to think that Balor and Mysterio here are going to tie into this in some way when it comes to the finish. There's no question about it. One of these guys probably costs the other, or however it plays out. And that's where Penta may be the person who benefits from that, because they will sneak in, get the win the title. I would, again, be surprised if Breakker retains. So if I eliminate Breakker and possibly eliminate Penta, I do think maybe it is Dominic or Finn Balor. And to me, if you think about moving forward, what's the best dynamic to give you the most out of this? You can make the argument that Finn Balor is the person that, ultimately wins the title. He's using that, and then maybe that's where Dominic eventually brings in a new member against Balor's orders, and that's what, leads to the eventual split of the judgment. We all know it's coming. This may be what precipitates that. Something huge happens here to make that happen. But I like the idea of Dominic winning the title here. Again, we talk about, look at what has been accomplished. What have you done in WWE? Dominic has also been someone who has been at such a high level now in terms of the crowd reactions and all that. And we know there's been those, sure, he's getting all the boos when he talks and everything like that. But having lived still with the Tag Team Championship, perhaps, having Dominic with the Intercontinental Championship, and then having Finn Balor looking at both of them and being so frustrated by the idea that they both hold gold and he is sitting there with nothing, that could be something that, of course, sends Balor over the edge, and that leads to the eventual one-on-one match where we get these two maybe having the matches throughout the summer for the Intercontinental Championship. How does the new member factor into this? There's all those different things that I think you could play into that. So I might pick Dominic to win the championship here. I don't. This is probably one of the least confident picks of the weekend, but I think this should be a great match. Could be the match of the weekend, really. When you think about what these guys can do in the ring, four-way match, so many of those unpredictable elements involved. I like any winner here, honestly. Any of the four, I'd be fine with it. Breakker retained, I'd be okay with that too. I like any of the four winners, but I'm going to go with Dominic because I like the dynamic that presents itself if he were to win this championship at the expense of Balor. So, and then there is the women's triple threat match for the World Championship. Io Sky defends against Rhea Ripley and Bianca Belair. And this is one we know. Bianca earned her rightful spots by winning the Elimination Chamber match. And so she got here on that. Rhea, well, it got a little complicated in terms of the contracts and all this other stuff. But eventually, she makes her way into this thing after Bianca, played the referee role and really didn't get a finish for Rhea and Io Sky. So all those things and how it played out, that is where we stand. As Io is kind of the person who's still like not really the afterthought, because she has been the person who seemingly is in the way of Bianca and Rhea trying to destroy each other. And I think that's where anytime you get that dynamic, we know what that means, right? Would that be great for Io Sky, where these two are so focused on beating each other to pump that Io Sky is the one to benefit. Kind of the same thing we talked about with Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, and CM Punk. Although there's a level of hatred there added to that one that's a little bit different than this one. But clearly, Io Sky out to prove herself, and she's got to do it against two of the, again, top stars that have been there for the women's division over the past several years. But Io's kind of trying to put herself on that level too. I think she absolutely belongs on that level. She is the champion. I like how they push that. Hey, everybody's talking about Rhea and Bianca. Io's the one champion. Like, she's title holder here. And so they have to beat her to win the championship. And so I like the way they kind of set that up. Can't say every single segment has been the best in this particular feud. Like, there's been a lot of contracts involved, and anytime you get contracts in wrestling, it can be a little difficult to keep things consistent. But I think this is one where, to me, talked about it WrestleMania Saturday in the Jade and Naomi match. However that plays out, I think the best direction forward is having Bianca continue her unbeaten streak at WrestleMania. Bianca has never lost at WrestleMania as to what you can do, again, throughout the summer, heading into maybe that eventual big one-on-one match between Bianca and Jade. And let's not kid ourselves. They've been kind of playing this up over the past month or so since Jade came back and attacked Naomi.
Good. You want to stay at the casino and add up betting slots. I just saved your time. Download Dance Valley. This is an officially licensed IGT game straight from the casino floor. This game probably has the best payout bonuses any slots games because it's so easy to win. In any slot you want, of up to 10 million points. If you get lucky.
There is no doubt that WWE could do a slow burn to get to Bianca and Jade 1 year from now. winning here makes probably the most sense. I think Rhea winning just does not make a lot of sense in terms of probably what they want to do moving forward, especially when you tie in the Jade Naomi aspect. Io retaining is certainly, I think, a strong possibility. But remember, you have to do it, and that's where you hand Bianca her first loss at WrestleMania. I don't know if that's going to happen here. And I think that Bianca is the person with this kind of heel dynamic to it. They were able to take a game. She's got a little bit more of that, realism added. What Bianca's saying is not wrong about Rhea getting into this match. Bianca's the one who earned it. Having her win here, I think, makes sense. And I would think Bianca, who continues her WrestleMania streak, may not get to the Undertaker level at any point in her career, but having that streak is interesting. And I think that will kind of add another dynamic here where Bianca wins again. WrestleMania, how does that play into the Jade Naomi stuff? So, give me Bianca to win the championship. And it brings us to this. The main event's Night 2, WrestleMania 41 on Sunday. Cody Rhodes defends the Undisputed Championship against John Cena. We all know the same. No reason to go back to everything. You guys know where things stand heading into this one. We probably won't spend as much time as we have some of the other guys, just because we all know this is. It is all about John Cena. The 17th record-setting World Heavyweight Champion. And he's got to do it, selling his soul for the Rock. He did it to the final boss at Elimination Chamber. Turns on Cody from there. He's got the back and forth. Almost between Cody and John Cena. And we know where both men stand heading into this. We know that Cena is trying to get that championship by any means necessary. We know that Cody is trying to protect the championship from Cena, trying to keep it with the family, the WWE fans, the universe, everybody. We got to keep this title, is what Cody Rhodes said. Well, the one unpredictable aspect of this, of course, is who we get The Rock. Is this where The Rock comes back and not having involved in this in any way? Since the Elimination Chamber, which should be a huge surprise. But because we've not really addressed that part of this whole equation yet, my guess is that's the reason. It's WrestleMania, it's Las Vegas, having The Rock come back here, all these things. I think that's what happened. I think he comes back, somehow that plays into the way this match unfolds. Remember all the interference we got WrestleMania 4 from the, Avengers type sequence that we had at the end with Cody Rhodes beating Roman Reigns. I don't know if we can get that level of interference maybe this year, but we all know this is not just going to be a straight up match between Cody Rhodes and John Cena. I'd be surprised if that's what happens. Because I think you are going to have the final boss, be the final boss, right? Someone who returns to try to make an impact. However that happens, we don't know. I mean, Travis Scott could be there. He could be the person that's actually the bench.
Well, we've seen that movie a few times, haven't we? An easy bucket in the
I do think the whole thing we said coming into this John Cena farewell tour is that it makes probably more logical sense to drag out the championship win for the end. We said that earlier this year. We said that last year with John Cena. We're looking at that thinking, all right, drag it out as long as you can, build up the suspense. Is he ever going to do it? Is he ever going to do it? That was before John Cena. And now, the finish of the story is not going to be, can John Cena win the title? The finish of the story probably has to be, is John Cena going to regain his way? Is he going to find his way back to his old self before he retires, right? Why did he do this? Why did he sell his soul to The Rock? He didn't have to do that, John. He didn't have to do it. And Microsoft did the same. And so, because the ending of the story has changed here, I don't think it's about I think it's about how does John Cena get back to the hustle, loyalty, and respect. Not this John Cena, right? How does he get back to it? Obviously, he turned it back in the fans pretty hard here over the past month. But it seems like that's the bigger part of the story. And so to me, there's only one way to make it work even better, and that is to have John Cena get the record, win the championship, and then go on, knowing that they've added a lot of dates to John Cena's calendar over the last little bit here, moving forward past WrestleMania. You've got to think that is the direction. Go in here, John Cena beats Cody Rhodes and wins the 17th World Championship. And then from there, that opens up a world of possibilities for John Cena and Cody. John Cena, Randy Orton, John Cena, and CM Punk. So, and of course, eventually, John Cena and The Rock. Saying they're going to have a match, but that's something where that dynamic in play after Cena has become the puppet for The Rock. up at Max for himself is going to try to pull off the score. How does it all play out? I don't know, but I think the most compelling way to do it is to see having that thing around his waist as the record-setting 17th World title reign begins. So, what a good job team. Win the championship. The Rock's return. We got to assume that's going to be the case. What else will happen? There, the ultimate but the game begins with John Cena. There you go, guys. My picks for WrestleMania Sunday. Let me know yours. Always appreciate the feedback. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the like button as well. Turn on the notifications so you know when we do these big videos and or go live. We'll be going live, doing our live streams as usual for after WrestleMania. Might do a couple more before we get to WrestleMania. Let you guys talk about what you want to talk about heading into the biggest weekend of the year for WWE. Let me know your predictions. What's going to happen. Appreciate you guys watching as always. And let me know your thoughts and predictions for every match on WrestleMania 41.
Catching up on the changes for Sacramento. Zeller comes in for DeMarcus Cousins. And it's Lawson in for Aaron Aflalo. And a switch here also for Portland. Plumlee is checked in for Pat Connaughton. For Portland, they've gone 2 of 3 from the field to start the second half. Here's Hastings. Kicks it out to Lillard. To the inside. Doubled by Collison. And here's McCollum for 3. Rebound by the Kings.
You know, guys, you can tell he wants to contribute more, but his teammates have picked up the slack for him. That's what being on the team is all about.
As we approach the fourth quarter, still anyone's ballgame.
Yeah, neither team able to create much of a cushion.
Lillard against Collison. Here's Hastings. And it's good. Assisting on the play was Lillard. Lillard's got 3 assists in the game. And here's Collison, who will bring it up for the Sacramento Kings. Now a timeout called by Sacramento.
Adjustments are a part of the game, and the coach sees something he doesn't like here.
And you know what? We'll see what changes he makes coming out of this timeout.
All right, fans, get up and get out.
Caspi is checked in for the Kings. Barnes comes in for Rudy Gay. And then for the Trailblazers, Nelson comes in for Greg Monroe. And it's Turner in for Lillard. Caspi passes to Barnes. Wants to get it to Zeller and does. Outside Collison. Zeller setting the pick for Collison. Shot clock at 5. And the shot goes in. Zeller's got his second bucket of the game to go.
They didn't have much of a problem getting the ball into the post that time.
And he drives in. It's rebounded by Lawson. The Kings leading. High post Zeller. Shot from free throw range. Hastings grabs the board. Hastings got his 7th rebound here tonight. McCollum against Lawson. McCollum passes to Hastings. Got a piece of it.
You know, usually Zeller is a position defender, but when he's locked in, he can block some shots, too.
About 7 seconds separating the shot and game clocks. Good on the triple. Caspi's got his first 3 points of the game.
Yeah, that's why you can't leave anyone open. They need a bucket in a big way here to regain some confidence.
Here's Hastings. Lawson defending. And Plumlee kicks to McCollum. The 3. He made it!
He got it! Big time! Wow. No doubt about it. Make no mistake. That's a big-time 3. They've narrowed this lead. We'll see if they can keep the momentum going.
And we just finished the third quarter, and we've got a tight ball game here. Kings ahead. They're up by 2. We'll be back shortly, live from Arco Arena. Here now a chance to show you our assist of the game.
And definitely deserving of the prize tonight. How about the read he made here? Looking like a point guard with the pass right on the money.
Terrific versatility coming from a big man. Chips are stacked against him. That's when you get to go to the Butler.
And with Jimmy Butler after this last year, Draymond Green, he says he believes that this group has what it takes to win a championship. The Warriors now, though, with this win, Stephen A., they get a date with the Houston Rockets. They are only the second, seventh seed to have over the last 30 seasons been favored over the number 2 seed Houston Rockets.
I think they should be because of the experience of Steph Curry along with Jimmy Butler and Draymond Green. We can't ignore Draymond Green. He, by the way, he was my most defensive player of the year. I'm just putting it out there right now. I just think that he's been that big time. But when you look at what Steph and Jimmy bring to the table, you're looking at Houston. You can defend. You can definitely rebound. All of that's true. But can you make a basket when you need to? That's the challenge. And against Golden State, I can't give them that.
It's the Houston half-court offense. Their defense, by the way, Embiid does tremendous job with this team. But when you look at the Warriors and you say they have maybe the 2-3 best players in the series, that's a problem for Houston. But I don't count Houston. I mean, Houston's a heck of a team. They deserve to be 2 seed. That's not something against them. I watched that game last night, and I watched Golden State put the ball in Jimmy's hand. And I watched Steph set every screen, and Memphis could not figure it out. That would not happen with Thompson and Dillon. So you switch that and flatten them out. They got to figure nobody out to score.
Because yesterday, GM Nico Harrison, he held a closed-door meeting with reporters, no cameras allowed, and he said this: there are no regrets on the trade. Part of my job is to do the best thing for the Mavericks, not only today, but also in the future, and some of the decisions I'm going to make are going to be unpopular. That's my job, and I have to stand by it. Now, elsewhere in the course of this conversation, he also emphasized repeatedly
if you look closely, and we never scrutinize teams more than we do now. Not only an NBA team is a private business, but it's not private, it's public. Stephen A. makes a career out of commenting on how teams are run, and that's fine. Fans show up and boo and cheer. So it's as public of a private business as you can have. So when things are difficult, Malika, you have to face the music, right? So what Nico said, I'm fine with what he said. Again, I've talked about how I feel about the trade. I feel like they didn't leave themselves many outs. He said we got to win. But in poker, and he's playing for an inside straight. He doesn't have 5 outs. He can do his fans that it's worth. But for you, what I don't understand, and again, people scrutinize this trade and have opinions of it. Why did they do this closed door? I don't think that really sat well with anybody. Forget about the local fit, but anybody. It didn't go over very well.
So Bob, my understanding is Nico Harrison did not want to do this closed door round table. This was not his idea. This was something that was enforced by the owner after Juma.
I think they were trying to repair some things. It felt like that, but it felt like some of the comments didn't land. Sometimes that's true. Sometimes less is good. Probably always said it. But how do you know that the owner is essentially endorsing this? Well, again, owning a team, you get to do what you want to do. You get to do what you want to do. But this, I guess I would, anybody in the organization, the Mavericks organization, I don't think they could foresee this. Right? And maybe it's because Kyrie got hurt. Maybe it's because Anthony Davis didn't play right away. They referenced the 2.5 quarters that showed what they could do. But I think what they're doing now is we gotta respond to this.
You can do what you want to do as an owner. You can also be called stupid for doing it. And that's exactly what I'm calling Dallas Mavs ownership. Stupid for doing what they did. We live in an age where podcast world is proliferating. It's taking on a life of its own. The media is people who ain't even in the media. Okay? I mean, they're all, because we're all lumped in the same bowl. You got stuff going on, comments out the wazoo, and you think it was wise to mandate that your general manager have a meeting and no cameras in? Like, that getting out was going to help you as an organization. It's bad enough to let go of a superstar that's 6 years younger than the guy that you would get in return. It's bad enough that you didn't get any other assets to go along with them. I understand Max Christie, I understand, you swapping first round picks, all this stuff. You didn't get enough. When the Knicks look at Mikal Bridges, and everybody looks at that trade, and you gave up 5 picks, 4 unprotected first-round picks to get Mikal Bridges, but the Lakers didn't have to do a quarter of that to get Luka Doncic, and y'all have nosedive since, primarily due to injuries, of course, and your response is, before a playing game. He said, they exit interviews, man. There's still a play-in game that they're playing tonight, and before that game, you're going to sit there and mandate that your general manager has a meeting with the media. By the way, the media, don't bring your cameras. Even if it's a party, that's one of the tools you use to meet. I don't know if you know that. But the media people come with them. They come with microphones. He said, don't bring them. This is the dumbest, one of the dumbest things I've ever heard a franchise suggest. And Nico Harrison ultimately looks bad because he goes out there and what does he say? What does he say? You actually look good when you want to get together for 2.5 quarters. Now we all love, you know Nico, you got love for him, okay? I've known Nico for years. I have never, ever heard him say something that didn't like. Ever. We really looked good for 2.5 quarters. He didn't say anything. 2.5 quarters. You can't do that. But they did it because that's what's going on in Dallas right now. No, by the way, your owner was Mark Cuban, who was a bit wild, to say the least. But one thing we never associated with him is stupidity. The superb. I tell you what, trust is hard to build with the fans. They have it, right? Because they like trust. It's hard, but now you lost it. It's a relationship. The relationship with the fans has been lost. Oh, once.
And here is
you took credit for this together.
Not putting any sort of ouch to your point, though. Saying that we look like a championship team for only 2.5 quarters, to your point, Stephen. There's nothing that was said here that helped pacify a very, very angry fan base. They want to see a healthy roster on the floor before they're even going to be, before anyone's even going to be able to evaluate what this team even is.
Kyrie Irving's return, that's the big question now, and that's something, the expectation around the Dallas Mavericks, Kyrie Irving, is that he will play a big chunk of next season. And there's optimism that he will be back for the Mavericks by January. And he's got, before that, a $44 million playoff, and that's the next situation that Nico Harrison, the Mavericks, will have to deal with. And the goal for the Mavericks is going to rip up his player option and give him a 3-year deal potentially to align him with Nico Harrison's 3 years and Anthony Davis' 3 years. Before his injury, he was playing an all-star level, an all-NBA caliber level, Stephen A. And with this team, say whatever you want about the Luka Doncic trade, and obviously there's a lot of feelings on that. This is a competitive and talented team. Let me be very clear. If Kyrie's healthy, Gafford, Lively, they got that team that's in the championship that Kyrie won. But having said all that, let's be clear. Anthony Davis got a game tonight. Luka shows up and drops 25, 45. That game they had 13. You can't look like that. You got to embrace this, Anthony Davis. You got to embrace it. I don't care if everybody else sticks up the joint. That brother got to sit up there and let the city of Dallas know, yo, I'm here.
We got a hell of a Batman. And I'll tell you, that's a Batman if I've ever seen a Batman. Always coming to save the day. You never out of any game. And more than anything, he's just so poised. He's so calm. He was fun because he was just
What's with him with like this year? Relaxing hobbies, staying out. It's a lot, so I need my savings to last.
It's the Metro Life Insurance Company. Your teammate for whatever lies ahead.
Robin,
Just to be clear, it was Jimmy Butler who started the Batman Robin analogy, but then we thought this was a job for a doctor, Dr. Stephen A. Smith.
It's beautiful. Pay attention, Bob Moss. I did a list the other day, and it was A quality, baby. Every right-hand man of the Cape Crusader. Give me number 3 on the list, please, right now. Bam! This dude right here. The #1 seed in the NBA, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. That's very good. You see how he gets to the free throw line as well. You see how much Steph Curry's loving him? Yes. He even got Draymond praising the brother, deferring him. All right? I mean, come on now. We got to give love where it's due. He ain't #1. Who's the #1 Robin? Brian. Oh, James. Oh, let me tell you why. I'm not being disrespectful. He said the ball is in Luka's hands. He doesn't mind deferring. Luka gets him the ball, but he gets it to him when he wants to. Smart enough to do it a lot because that is LeBron James. But Luka's the 25-year-old superstar they just traded for. Luka's the dude that's going to have the ball in his hand. Luka's the dude that's going to be there for the next decade. You're going to steal the ball. Listen, he's not a Robin. Okay, but you called him one. But he's saying he is in this situation because he's happy that Luka's there. I'm only taking his words. That's it. I heard Jimmy say he was a Robin. I didn't hear LeBron. Well, whatever. Listen.
Do you respect Nico Harrison for standing on business, saying he has no regret trading Luka? I, for one, respect it.
I mean, I could too respect it.
Make that trade.
Own it. You can't compare that trade to those other 2 trades.
No, it just seemed like those other trades under Mark Cuban sound like some basketball trades. So this Luka trade was personal.
Why? Because he don't play defense?
Don't do that to him, Cheryl. He did not want to talk about that type of shit on his show. He does not want to talk about the truth on his show. He's going to make up his own shit. He's trying to fuck up his algorithm.
Like, no. Like, looking at your defensive style.
Based off what Nico said, defense wins championships. That's basketball related.
Team game.
You are the GOAT.
It's a team game.
It's basketball. I'm just saying that you say it, it just makes sense.
Sure.
I'm going off of what Mr. Harris said.
That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Well, good.
Right? That's my story.
No, I know how to stick to it. I gotta stick to it.
Right?
There's no way in hell.
Believe that.
There's no way in
How nobody believe that, Cheryl?
Would you do it?
Nobody believe that.
Yeah.
A fair trade for both sides.
If Nico is saying defense wins championships, AD is a better defender.
Yeah, no, I get it. Fair. Who?
AD is a better
So is
defender.
this motherfucking Gilbert Arenas.
AD is a better defender than Luka.
So is this thing we got here. It's a better defender than Luka too. But this motherfucking averaging 39 and 9.
We got a motherfucker on our team called Kyrie Irving. We do. They do, excuse me. Look at we got Kyrie.
0%. It's a 0%. Nico wanted to trade Luka Doncic.
Well, it wasn't Nico's decision.
Of course it was.
But he appears to be standing on business.
He has to stand on business because I'm telling you to stand on business because if not, it's your motherfucking ass too that can leave.